Good morning, Grace Covenant. Happy Thursday. I'm out walking this morning, just feeling the air that is cold, but you can tell it's going to warm up, so it doesn't feel as cold as when it's going to stay cold. And I've been walking on this road out here and running on this road for several years now. You know, this is the longest I've lived anywhere my entire adult life. It's the longest I've lived in a house since I was in second grade. So I'm feeling myself at home here in a different way than maybe I have in a long, long time. But I also learned how to kind of get my bearings and be at home in a place pretty quickly because of all the moves that we made. And still, even with all the familiarity of this place and the longevity, relatively speaking, it doesn't compare to the town I grew up in. I have the twists and turns of those roads and just memorized in my body. I don't even know a lot of the street names. Some of them I do, but I could find my way around there still. It's in my body. It was there from the very beginning. I walked the roads, I ran the roads, I walked them in the day and in the night and with people and by myself. I found my way around, and the pure repetition of it all in those formative years is just, you know, you can never replace that. It's there. And it affects how you navigate other places. It affects how different things bring up things for you. And that's kind of how trauma works. It's deep in your cells. It's visceral. It's not something that you necessarily have the ability to play with that much. It's there and it affects you and it shows up. There can be different things that trigger it. There can be different things that just make things rise to the consciousness or the nervous system to react. And, you know, these last few weeks at Grace Covenant have been intense. There's been a lot going on. There's been things that have been very painful that we've had to deal with around boundaries, around just destructive behavior and disinformation. And that is traumatizing when people in your own community or people that are supposed to be trustworthy aren't. It's triggering. It brings up things. It flips a switch on other times that we've been betrayed or hurt or lost or confused or not known who to trust. That's a very traumatizing experience to not know who to trust. And a lot of people at Grace Covenant have had church trauma. There are a lot of us who have been harmed by the church in one way or another. So when churches start to have conflict, it can feel like that's happening again. The church is falling apart, or things are divided, or, you know, this is just going to turn out to be the same old as other churches that are dysfunctional or, you know, don't know how to deal with conflict. And that's traumatizing. That's so demoralizing when you start to think, oh, well, I thought this place was different, but it's not. And one of the ways that we can speak to our trauma and begin to tend to it and give our body some other data to sort of answer some of those old experiences that trigger certain responses, and the stories that we have around them and the stories that we have around certain experiences, is that we go through something traumatic in a healthy community, in a supportive community, in a transparent community. And for me, that's what's happening right now at Grace Covenant, is we're going through something really hard with some of the trademark, aspects of church dysfunction and trauma, when people move in ways that are destructive and dishonest and cross boundaries. And we're moving through it in a healthy way. It hurts, it's painful, it's scary, it's deeply troubling and upsetting, and at the same time, there's support, there's trust, there's faith, there's transparency and honesty and vulnerability. And it's important for us to acknowledge the heft of this experience, but also really acknowledge that the troubling part is coupled with this real support and healthy response. And our session is really modeling that. You could feel it in the sanctuary on Sunday. There was a lot going on Sunday. Some of you know some of it, some of you don't. We had people that was the first time they ever came to Grace Covenant. And so there are all these layers to the different kinds of experiences that we're having, and the unique ways that each of us meet experience with our own stuff, And one of the most powerful moments to me on Sunday was the music. The first was the song that we sang, the Kyrie. There was so much emotion in the room, and there was a lot of space for people to just flush out all the things we've been holding, and then order my steps after the sermon. There was such joy and energy and resonance in that, and the rhythm and the synchronicity and the way we kind of felt, synced together in that moment. It was a holy moment. And so I pray, Grace Covenant, that you can move through this and trust the support that is around you, that you can, and if you're having trouble doing that, I pray you can really lean in and be honest about what's hard for you right now. These are galvanizing moments that define communities, and we've got a lot of great things ahead of us, Grace Covenant, and this will be a touchstone moment when we decide to do the hard thing that's the healthy thing. And we've been doing that at several junctures along the way these last several years. And that's going to strengthen our ability to be true messengers of God's liberating love in the world. So I'm very hopeful. I'm very grateful. I'm inspired. And I feel, in the pain of all this, I feel the deep healing that is unfolding for all of us. For all of us. Whatever happens from here, this is a healing opportunity for everyone touched by it. Each of us will choose how we want to engage in that, how that's going to unfold in our lives. And I trust God with all of that. And I'm sending you love. You are a gift to me, to many. And we'll keep going on this road, this Lenten road, and we're going to find our way home by another way. Love you, Grace Covenant.